Students, let us begin today the virtual class on the parliament, which is the legislative part of the union government. So, the Parliament of India consists of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So, here we have to study the composition, powers, and functions of the Lok Sabha, composition, powers, and functions of the Rajya Sabha. So, this is the Parliament of India, so where the decisions are taken and many programs are concluded and implemented. So, this is also called as the legislature of India. Our legislature at the central level is called the Parliament. The Parliament of India consists of the President and the two houses, so it is the highest lawmaking body in the country. The lower house is called the House of the People or Lok Sabha. The upper house is known as the Council of States or Rajya Sabha. The President is a part of the legislature even though he does not sit in the Parliament except for the purpose of delivering his opening address. So this is the Parliament building and a bird eye view of the Parliament Bhavan. So here also we can see some images of the Parliament of India. A bill passed by the House of Parliament cannot become a law without the President's assent. The fact that the President is part of the Parliament stresses the interdependence rather than the separation of the executive and legislature in the parliamentary system. The powers of the two houses are different. They are also constituted in different ways. So let us discuss about the composition of the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha is the House of the People and also called as the House of Parliament. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. The Constitution provides that the Lok Sabha shall consist of not more than 552 members, out of which 530 members chosen by direct election from the territorial constituencies in the states and not more than 20 members to represent the union territories. In addition, the President may nominate not more than two members to represent the Anglo Indian community. If he is satisfied that the Anglo Indian community is not adequately represented in the House of People. At present, 79 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 41 seats are reserved for scheduled tribes. Two Anglo Indians nominated by the President, so they are Richard Hay from West Bengal and George Baker from Kerala. The total elective membership of the Lok Sabha is distributed among the states in such a manner that the ratio between the number of seats allotted to each state and the population of the state is as far as possible the same for all the states. At present, the Lok Sabha consists of 545 members. The membership of the Lok Sabha stands fixed at 545 till the year 2020. but now we are in 2021. So it should be uh, the number of membership of Lok Sabha should be changed. Method of election. How to elect the members of the Lok Sabha. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people of the states on the basis of universal adult franchise. So it means that a citizen who has attained the age of 18 years or more has the right to vote in the elections to the Lok Sabha. So only age is the qualification. No educational qualification, no property qualification, no other qualifications. Only on the basis of age, the members of the Lok Sabha, the people above 18 years, have elected the members of the Lok Sabha. Joint electorate system, another method to elect the Lok Sabha members. It means that all the voters of a constituency vote for common candidates and not on the basis of their allegiance to different communities. Joint electorate system means whatever may be the reservation of the constituency. Some constituencies are created as the reserved constituencies, some constituencies are general constituencies. But joint electorate system says that everyone, whether the constituency is reserved for SC or ST or for general merit, everyone belongs to every category, every caste, every religion should give their votes to the candidates according to their choice. A country is divided into territorial constituencies, and each constituency elects one representative. However, some constituencies are reserved for SCs and STs. These are called reserved constituencies, and from each of such constituency, only candidates belonging to SC/ST, as the case may be, can contest elections. If the constituency is reserved for SC, only SC candidates should contest. If it is for ST, only ST candidates should contest. Others cannot contest in the reserved constituencies. However, all the voters exercise their franchise in a reserved constituency, whether uh, belonging to any caste, maybe Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Parsis, whatever may be their religion or race, they should go to the constituency, whether it is ST reserved or SC reserved, they should cast their votes. Single member constituency, which is the another important method for the election of the members of the Lok Sabha. The country is divided into as many constituencies as is the number of the members of the Lok Sabha to be elected. So, according to the strength of the Lok Sabha, so number of constituencies are created. If the strength of the Lok Sabha is 545, there are 545 constituencies. So it means from each constituency, one member is to be elected. Then, in the Lok Sabha election, another important thing we should uh, keep in mind is that secret ballot system. The members of the Lok Sabha are elected by secret ballot system. But now EVMs are used in the elections. We can see the machines in the picture. So earlier there was a ballot system. So now also in the Gram Panchayat elections, recently held Gram Panchayat elections conducted on the basis of ballot system. The voters, while casting vote, should get a ballot paper from the election officers. they should put a cross mark according to their choice on the name of the candidate or on their symbol, election symbol. But when the EVMs are using, then the voters should go to the polling station. So, in this way, what the picture is showing, in this way, the machines will be adopted. So, then by pressing the blue button, they should cast their votes. They can also see to which party or to which candidate they have casted their vote. In the next machine, which is in the left side, next machine we can see the party, the candidate's name, and the symbol of the candidate. So, like this, secret ballot system is practicing for the election of the Lok Sabha members. So these are the EVM machines which are using in the Lok Sabha elections. First is control unit. Then second machine VSD, which is in the center. Then and the ballot unit, which is in the right side. Left side control unit, center VSD, then uh, right side the ballot unit. Then how to cast the votes? So here is a picture which is uh, showing the casting of vote. So while casting our vote, we should press the button like this. So then our vote will be recorded. So this machine which is there in the left side will give a beep sound. So that is understood that my vote is registered. So like that, so this is the method of casting vote. Then Lok Sabha election is a direct election. Direct election means all the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. Any voter can cast his vote to elect any candidate of his choice from his constituency. There is no force, no interference while casting vote. So they can cast their votes to any candidate according to their choice. A candidate securing the largest number of votes gets elected as the representative of the people of his constituency. The candidate who secure the absolute majority of votes will be declared elected as the member of Lok Sabha. Qualifications for membership. A candidate desiring to contest for Lok Sabha required to have these following qualifications. He must be a citizen of India. He must not be less than 25 years of age. He must not hold office of profit under the government or the state government. He should not have an unsound mind. He should not be a bankrupt. He should not be disqualified under any law made by the parliament. He should possess all such qualifications as may be prescribed by a law of the parliament. Then, once elected, how many years the member of Lok Sabha can be in office? That is called as the tenure. The term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting. The expiration of the period of 5 years operates as its dissolution. The House may be dissolved before the expiration of its full term under certain circumstances by the President. So, the President can dissolve the Lok Sabha before the completion of its full term of 5 years. So, during an emergency, the term may be extended by the Parliament for a period not exceeding 1 year at a time and not exceeding in any case a period of 6 months after the proclamation of emergency has ceased to operate. In sessions of the Lok Sabha, the President has the power to summon or dissolve the Lok Sabha. The President can call the sessions of the Lok Sabha. The Constitution specifies that the House must meet at least twice in a year. Minimum two sessions have to be conducted with no more than 6 months between sessions. In practice, Lok Sabha held an average of three sessions each year. They are monsoon session, winter session, and budget session. So, this is the uh, hall where the sessions are conducted. Then, quorum to conduct a meeting or session. For a meeting of the Lok Sabha, the presence of at least one tenth of its total members is essential. So, one tenth of the members must be there to conduct a session. If one tenth of the members are not present in a meeting of the Lok Sabha, the Speaker of the House can adjourn the meeting for lack of quorum. Minimum number of members is one tenth of the total strength. Salary and allowances. So, a joint committee of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has prepared a report recommending MP's salary to be hiked from 50,000 to 1,60,000. Constituency allowance from 45,000 to 90,000. Secretarial assistance plus office allowance from 45,000 to 90,000. There are some special privileges for the members of the Lok Sabha. So they are the members of the Lok Sabha enjoy the privileges. They enjoy unrestricted freedom to express their views in the House. So they have no any restriction to express their opinion. No action can be taken against them for anything said by them in the House. So no action against the members of the Lok Sabha if they speak in any uh, manner or in an indecent way. Sometimes they must be excused. So that freedom is granted to them. They cannot be detained for any offense during and 40 days before and after the session. No uh, arrest or detainment of the members of the Lok Sabha during and 40 days before and after the session. Before 40 days and after 40 days of the session, no member of the Lok Sabha should be arrested. For conducting its business, the members of the Lok Sabha elect two members of the House to be a speaker and a deputy speaker. So they will normally hold office during the life of the House. So they are responsible for the smooth conduct of the business of the House. If the Speaker is absent, then the Deputy Speaker should preside over the meetings of the Lok Sabha. So both are responsible for the orderly conduct of the business of the House and also the day to day discussions and activities. So they have complete freedom to control each and every member of the Lok Sabha belong to ruling party, belong to opposition party, or belong to any uh, minor political party. So they have the control over the House during the sessions of the Lok Sabha. So they are mainly responsible. We can see during the sessions of the Lok Sabha how the speaker and deputy speaker um struggle to control the members of the Lok Sabha. So thank you, friends. Today I will conclude here. So let us continue tomorrow with in the next class with the details of speaker and the deputy speaker, what powers and responsibilities are given to them, and what exemptions are also granted to speaker and the deputy speaker. Thank you.